Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2, where we're back in Australia, big in the world's biggest Australian transportation company, where it looks like there's a lot of craziness. Like, it looks like someone dropped a plate of spaghetti on the floor right now with all my train lines, but this is super efficient. Last episode, we created a few new industries. We've got now the fueling line up and running and the goods line up and running, and we started feeding Alice Springs with the fuel and the goods. We also started feeding as well Port Lincoln, and while it doesn't seem like we did much last episode, we laid down the foundations for new industries to supply all of the cities and the towns in the middle and northern parts of Australia. Now today, we're probably not going to do that many expansions, because what we kind of need to do is go back and look at all of our lines, see what is making good money, and if we can make even more money by making it more efficient. Maybe it needs more trains on the lines, or just in general looking at all the lines that are losing the most amount of money and seeing if there's ways in which we can improve them. There is a few bits and bobs we need to do. I need to add some bus routes to some of these towns like Tennant Creek, Alice Springs, even Port Lincoln, and we also need to get Seduna all hooked up and get their food and fuel delivered as well. So if you are enjoying the series, make sure you smash that like button down below, subscribe if you are new around here so you get notified when more episodes do come out. Now, looking at Port Lincoln right now, it's hindered in one of two ways. One, with the big mountain on the side here, so you can't really get much growth on this side. And we also need to kind of somehow bring this train line up and over and link it all the way down in Seduna. So we'll start here. We'll start here right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly pause the game, and we're going to bring the flattening tool out. I'm just going to flatten a little bit of this side here before we kind of then smoothen it all off, because I really want to get Port Lincoln to grow a little bit more than what it currently is. I'm not going to go too far with the flattening because there is a mountain that we have to kind of take into account. Smoothing all this out, bring this all down. But what's more important, or most important, is that we add the entry points on the opposite side. So if I go to the passenger buildings, get a small little kind of one set up just there, which is okay. We'll get one down here. And why not get one on the very end set up as well? So I can utilize roads around it to give us a bit more of a reach to allow Port Lincoln to grow a little bit more. So we'll go for normal roads, take all the ownership off. I don't want no ownership on any of this. Go from over here and then drag this all the way down just so it hooks up to both entrances. Bring this all the way up. And then we should get an entry point cutting across. Actually, I could do it like that as a connection. It just about reaches. And that should give us a wider radius to work with. Now, the crisscross is there. I don't think this road connection will work too well. Will that work? Oh, the building's way too close there. I can maybe potentially utilize this here as the connection cutting across. I'm not sure what's going to be better for us to go about doing. Straight in like that, and then get this road to bend around like this, or even into there. All right, there we go. So we can now drive completely around and allow the city to naturally build upon itself in this area. Rather than me determine what it's going to be, I'll let Port Lincoln decide. So that will hopefully give us a few more buildings over on that one side. Slightly grow it a bit more. And I think there is a road connection here that I'm kind of missing out on. There we go. And just make this reach a bit more. So you can see the radius in which it now collects is a little bit better. Gets down here a bit more too. So you might get more passengers. You might get more goods being demanding of this area in general. Right, sweet. Not sure how much we're going to see change from all this, but Port Lincoln itself has been growing recently. Ever since it started getting its goods, it's turned out really, really well. So what I'm going to do next then is figure out how we're going to do Seduna right now. Now, Seduna eventually will need fuel and food. And we have the line bringing the industry goods down here. So somehow I've got to kind of connect this up into a bend with that leading over. So we'll need a ground platform no matter what. It could be an end station, but it doesn't really matter. No, we're going to make it an end station. We'll make it an end station. It doesn't need to be super long, but we need both ends. And I've got options to either bring it directly into the center, which I'm probably going to do. So let me delete some stuff. I am very, very sorry, but trust me, it will grow back and they will thank me. They will thank me for this. They will praise your boy. Right, if I bring that there. Now, this road, if this road hooked all the way through like this, it will give me greater connectivity to this side, which is a bit better. And we'll utilize that train station, which is on a little bit of a lower point, which actually works out really handy for me. And then bring this round. Actually, before I bring it round, maybe we should work out how this elevated section is going to work. So if I get it where I'm going to have the train track, or the train tracks, going to this point. So this here needs to connect into there. I just realized that it's not electric. Is that not electric or high speed? Tools, electric. It is electric. It's just not high speed. It doesn't need to be high speed, but it annoys me when the train track colors are different. It really does. And I've got to get this now connected up to here. But the issue is I'm going to also have to navigate it slightly around this. So it's all elevated. One building's going to be removed, but that's okay. Bringing this around here to then take it straight over. Which, try and keep it up for a minute. I don't think I'm ready to drop it down just yet. And bring this around with it. And I think we're now going to be all good. So if I run from there to there, does start to create a bridge, which is not a problem. We'll space it out a little bit wider so we got a nice gap on the actual structures of the bridge. And that just keeps it really simple. Nothing too crazy, even though it does look absolutely crazy, but also very, very simple. Now, we're not going to build a new line. We're just going to extend the current line on it. Now, this does become a bypassing route, but it's only going to be the passenger train on it, so it doesn't need to do anything special. So I can keep it like that. So the line on it actually goes from Port Lincoln to Newcastle, which originally used to go from Adelaide, but now I need to change it. So when it gets to Port Lincoln, which is here, so it goes from Adelaide to Port Lincoln, add a station to there, so then which it will then go back to Adelaide, which it doesn't need to. It needs to then go back to Port Lincoln. I know, crazy, right? Crazy. Now, in the Ceduna Exchange, we'll make this one utilize both stops. Make life a little bit easier. And probably the same in the Newcastle one as well. Upper Newcastle is what it's called. Where is it? It is just here. Get this, because if there's two trains coming at once, because you never know, because I think it might need more trains on this line, it can utilize both sides of the platform. Right, okay, so comes in, hot and heavy, in on the one side, skadoodles out, going down, using both sides of the tracks. Probably don't need to do signals, but I will do them anyway. And you're there. You're there, there. And the crisscross is just there, so you're there. Right, plenty of space for trains to choo-choo. So I can now finally change the name of this. This is... Oh, hold on. Can I undo that? Cancel. I made a boo-boo. Oh, it's now D. Damn it. I got to rename the whole thing. So this is Ceduna to Newcastle. Newcastle. Zodiac. Right. And I'm going to add... Because it's now got an additional stop. Well, 2 additional stops since we had the Port Lincoln stage on as well. I'm going to add an additional train to it. Because it is quite a long journey. It's probably my longest commuter route that I have. And it goes through the most towns as well. So let that do what it's got to do. Very good, very good, very good. And at the same time, right, we do need to implement the ability to get the cargo on it. Which I've just realized I didn't add cargo platforms. So we can't drop the cargo off. But now we can. So we've got to now connect up this line to this line. Now, it should be pretty simple and easy to do. But at the same time, easier said than done, right? So if I bring that to just here. And then do the same again. And then connect this up. into there. Real good. Right, smooth them while I can. Get this all situated just beautifully right now. No issues on the bumps and stuff. Yeah, that's all okay, isn't it? Yeah, that would all do okay. And it's kind of just quickly implement the final signal form. I don't know if that's going to be long enough. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. You're there. You're there. We delete this one. And I think we're now going to be okay. We'll get actually another set just in here in case there's like a train waiting to come in and out. So that little connection there brings the goods into Seduna, which will now set up. We're then done for Seduna. We can then leave it alone and just gradually watch it build. So fuel's coming from over here. This is what we got set up in the last episode. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, boys. We'll name it Seduna Fuel. There we go. And then we've also got to get connected to it food, which for us, the food's coming all the way over here. Bit of a long way to travel, but it should make good money. There's nothing really going to be stopping it in its way. So it should be completely amazingly fine. Seduna food. Right, both of those lines now set up. We'll get them from the train station over here, or the train depot. They will be diesel, because they're not really going to be carrying much. So one needs to carry food, which will be this one. And one needs to carry fuel. So 60 capacities until we know what's going down. So this is the food one. So Seduna food. There we go. And then Seduna fuel. Right, done. All of a sudden, Seduna can now have a massive growth expansion. It's going to be pretty sweet. It's going to be pretty sweet. So, we now need to kind of gradually look over some of our existing routes and see if there's any way in which we can kind of slightly, improve them, make them better, more efficient, or is there any losing too much money and I need to remove some trains because the capacity is not quite there? Well, let's take a look at these lines. Bring it up. Now, we also have to kind of take into account that some of the lines, like if I look at Portland Fuel right now, this makes money, but it then goes a year where it doesn't make money. So where is this line coming from? So Portland Fuel from here goes all the way up to there. Now we do have another fuel line over here. I don't think that would do any better for it. It will still be the same issues. Now, what is the capacity of it? It doesn't really carry that much. So is it better to have two smaller trains for it? Is it the case of it's a little bit too far away? What's the issues right now? What is the issues? The fuel's all over the place, so we're okay on that front. Let's see what we can do here. So it's only carrying 38 right now, is all it's doing. Does this have enough oil coming in? It does seem to have quite a bit, but the transport numbers are kind of down. But this does supply a lot of places. It really does. I could do with longer platforms, which would kind of help us out. That'll give us a bit more breathing space. And I won't lose as many goods. Alright, there we go. Let's see how we just get on with that first. So that gives a little bit more breathing space on this platform. So hopefully we have a higher limit before we start wasting fuel. But anyway, was it Portland? Sorry. Yes, we're going to actually manage this vehicle. We're going to edit it. We're going to take 2 off so it only can carry 60. So modify that. And then I'll duplicate it. So it might be counterintuitive, but what I'm doing right there is reducing the capacity so the train's cheaper to run and maintain a year. but then have a second one so we have more frequent deliveries, which should kind of give us a nice little balance on the year. We'll see how we get on. Now, Melbourne fuel, Melbourne fuel comes, again, quite some distance. It is carrying 100 on board. Melbourne fuel, there's a lot there. I think Melbourne fuel just needs a second train in general. Because finances, it makes money, but it depends on that year where it loses money because the delivery didn't come in. So doubling up on the amount there should be a big help for us. Now, with the amount of trains that do come in, you're probably thinking, yeah, Sonic, why don't you just add more platforms to this? And you're right, we probably do need to add more platforms. But give them time, boys. Let's just give them time right now. I don't know if extending the platform works because the actual line itself, the tracks, don't extend that far. So I might need to actually reconfigure this at some point. But let's just see how those two get on for now. Now, the Mildura Steel is a line that goes from there all the way up to here. Finances has the same issue again. Now, while that does carry the 200, there is quite a lot of steel weight in there. A second train will solve it. Well, it's not that simple. So I'm going to edit this, reduce it down to a 140 capacity, right? Modify. Then duplicate it. So while we do have now 80 more capacity on the whole line, we have reduced the train by 60, but we now have 2 of them, which gives us an additional 80 capacity on the whole line in general, which then kind of split the difference. Not take too much from this, that there's there's not a lot left over. And then those numbers should then increase. Right. Albury goods is another one. Now this picks up the goods from here, drops it down in Albury over here. Now this could be the same thing. You go like a certain year where it doesn't really make much money. Is there a lot here for Albury? There's only 7. So it could be a case where Albury's just not that demanding of the goods. I mean, it does need quite a bit of goods. Let's not get it twisted right now, boys. It's 100 capacity as well. So if I manage this vehicle, edit this down to a 60, then duplicate it. Hopefully it balances out, because the money it makes should then be able to be sufficient enough to kind of run 2 trains at once. But the additional train would also make money as well, so I don't think we're going to have too much of an issue in it making profit. Yeah. Alice Springs planks. What's going on with this? Finances. Same issue again. Now, Alice Spring planks, they come from some distance. I'm just realizing this. They are fully loaded. So, again, smaller train. Oh, wrong button. Smaller train, regular deliveries. Where is the train right now? It's only here. So, we are going to have to lose some planks on it. I don't mind. It's for the greater good. So we take off 40. No, we take off 60. But then increase the frequency of the deliveries by adding an additional train. So a little bit smaller. They can then go a little bit quicker. But then we've got more capacity on the line with a second train. That's the idea behind it anyway. Right, Melbourne tools. Is this the same issue again? Where's Melbourne? So Melbourne's here. Tools are being picked up from over here. It is a full load, but it can go a year where it doesn't make any money. Melbourne tools. There's actually quite a lot there. So Melbourne tools right now. Manage the vehicle. Edit it and just take off a 20 capacity. No, 40 capacity. So modify that. Because there's a lot available. Now we'll do 140 capacity. Modify that. Then duplicate. That's the logic I'm going for, okay? It's the logic I'm going for. Right, Seduna stuff, we've only just done that, so give that time. Carnarvon food. Now, where's Carnarvon? I'm sure it's over this side, right? Yes. That does have to travel some distance. That is on the cusp of not really doing very well. Now, what does this line actually do? It goes back and forth between the two, doesn't it? Now, I think that is where the issues are slightly falling short. So, I think we might need to change some stuff up here on this food line, because it's not really set up the way I'd normally set it up. Now, what's happening is every place that requires food around this area, which is Perth, Geraldton, and Carnarvon, what they're doing is they're picking up from one food plant here, delivering it to the town, then going to the second one, which is not giving us adequate amount of goods. So I might switch this up. I'm going to switch this up right now. So the Perth one, so Perth food, manage the line. I'm going to make it not go to the Albany route and only get it from Geraldton. So it's going to be back and forth there, back and forth there, back and forth there. Right, that's what I'm going to make it do. Now, this one, which has now got Carnarvon and the other Geraldton one as well, we're not going to make it not go to Geraldton North. So it only gets it from Albany here. So I'm splitting who goes to it. Now, this might have a little bit of a knock-on effect for a little while. But it then stops them being inconsistent with their deliveries. And it will then allow the factories to really build up. So hopefully this works out. This might downgrade. Actually, no, it won't downgrade it because not really much is going on. But it's only now supplying food for Perth. So the Perth train can be full all the time. And the grain train. One factory there doesn't have enough grain. This factory here. I think the grain train is also a little bit of an issue for us. So the grain train, which only carries 10. Let me manage this vehicle. Is that the best gondola on it? Yes. I'm going to bring this down to a 140 capacity again and then duplicate it. Let me modify. Duplicate. And then see how we get on with that. Is what we'll do. So, next one, Adelaide Fuel, is another train that has to travel some distance. Now, driving down here on the train does take a large chunk of time. And this skips 2 years because of it. There's got to be a way here in which I can reduce this. Now, there's got to be a few lines that do take that route. So what I'm going to do for Adelaide right now is just kind of slightly help them out here. Because there's a bit of an issue. There is a bit of an issue for these guys. Right, so just after the crisscross here, I'm going to bend out there. Which works perfectly for that signal. And I'm then going to also create a line that ticks this way. And then connect these boys up. Making sure that they're connected on the right ones. So you're connected there perfectly fine. Becomes a tunnel, which is really interesting. Confirm that. So you don't even see it. Which is hilarious. Now, instantly that line wants to utilize this route. Which is really going to shorten down the Adelaide issues. I don't know. It's not going to be beneficial to Portland. No, sorry. And then signals. I don't know if there's any other lines that will find this beneficial. I'm sure we'll find out in just a moment. And you go there. So any other lines find this beneficial? Let me get rid of this here. No, just the food line. Now, it does take a huge chunk out, but it still will not solve the issue. It still won't solve the issue. So we're going to manage the vehicle again. Oh, it's only 100 though, isn't it? So how much fuel is on the platform for Adelaide? Adelaide 75. So it might be a case of reducing and then doing multiples. because it is a long journey. So edit down to 60. Duplicate. And then see how we get on there. Right, okay. Okay. Right. Just looking at all this stuff right now. So doing a plastic? What's that? Oh, it's my plastic route here going all the way up to there. Why is this not making money? Is it just not producing enough plastic? Yes is the issue. Now, why is that before? Because you're not getting enough oil, maybe? That's just load up a ton of plastic right there. That's bringing oil in. Could I do right oil? What's that line? That's down to here, isn't it? They've got plenty of oil coming in. Maybe we just have to wait for this to be a bit more demanding on the guts. Is this the plastics train? There's the plastics train on the way down. It's such a short distance as well, so I don't know what the issue is. I want to see how much it makes on this one now that we're dropping off, because it could be that we caught it on awkward years. It makes money every year, so the train does get there. It could be a case where it needs to be a full load every time. Yeah. Wait for this to drop off anyway. Train coming in hot and heavy. So it's only really... Oh, it's actually quite a lot off. I just realised this is 200 capacity and it's only half full. So what does this do for finances? Only half full. That would be fine if it can pick up enough. Now going back, there's only 65 there, but by the time it gets there, it should be over 100. I think it's only now just finding its stride. So give that time. Give that time. Okay. So I'm looking around. Aubrey Fuel is another one that we've kind of... Oh no, this is one we haven't changed yet. So manage this, edit, reduce by 2, add a second one. I might need to configure this fueling station. It's getting the fuel coming in. It could be a case that there's just too many destinations on this route. Do I have another fueling station nearby? Or fuel, the ability to produce fuel? I don't believe I do I? There's one there. But where would I bring oil from? Because I'm using the oil field over here for it. There's oil that can go... I mean, I've got to refine it, though, as well at the same time. There's a refinery here, which I could share it. Hang on, is that refinery being used? Wait, hold on. Yes, we... Wait, hold on. We're using... How am I using this? In what form and fashion? Is it coming from over here? So I've got the Rockhampton oil, which delivers it over there. Right. Crude oil from over here. Ah, there we go. That's where we're getting it from, isn't it? That's where we're getting it from, boys. That's maxed out. That's not quite, but I can utilize that to deliver fuel here if I bring oil over there. And then I can split out where the fuel's coming from, so there'll be more left over for other cities. I can take a couple of cities off, which would kind of help us out slightly. I'll give it some time, though. That is definitely a plan that we can do. That is definitely a plan that we can do. Now, we've got Canberra food. Now, this is... Where's Canberra again? Here. Again, this will be another issue as well, is the food line. But by the looks of it, Canberra can do... It's getting all kinds of different goods over here as well. We're going to add a second vehicle in that line. Is that a yearly thing? Yeah, it misses out on a year, but regular deliveries will help us out. But this is another industry where I have to kind of take a little bit away from it because it is going to be also overwhelmed. That industry here right now, in terms of consumers, there's a fair few, and I've got to be a little bit careful. All right, okay. Port Lincoln Fuel. Isn't this one I've just recently set up? Yes. Finances. Oh, it's just because the train hasn't got there yet. Okay. Okay. So, I'm trying to look at places that we've kind of done. Catherine Food? Really? Wait. That's not making money? Wow. So are we saying maybe the Catherine Food run might be better off being a vehicle line? How much food's went on these platforms? 4 there, 79 over there. These aren't really producing much, are they? We're at their capacity straight away. Oh, I don't want to rename it. We're at their... What's configure? Oh, no, you can't do anything to it anyway. Alright, that's interesting. How many consumers we got on this? We might be better off vehicling the food in. Which will have to create like a little bit of a highway route almost. So doing the food. Where's Seduna again? Over here. But that's a long distance, though, where it kind of makes sense. I think that's too short of a distance. Does the Darwin one make money? Darwin food? No, so that could also benefit from a vehicle run as well. Okay, bear that in mind, guys. Bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. Right, Adelaide fuel. Obviously, the financing is going to be higher right now, but we should get consistent deliveries. Right. Okay. Alright, okay. I'm trying to think what would be best. Because I can bring the goods in here, but the problem is the alignment of all of this. I'm trying to figure out a better system here that's not going to be a hot mess. That I can utilize this. So, what I'm going to do, we're going to configure this track-wise. We're going to add another set of 2 tracks. Alright, give me a hot minute, boys. But I've got to be careful how far I go. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Actually, it doesn't matter because I just figured something out. Right, platform. This is slow. This is so slow at doing this right now. Right, and then tracks again. And we'll do it to about there. Actually, it's connected to one side, so I don't think we need to. I can actually delete this. But it's still connected. Alright. This is such a long process right now, trying to extend the station. There we go. Oh, platforms. And then finally... You're probably wondering what I'm doing right now, but this will all make sense. Okay. So what I've got to try and do... I'm going to have to reconfigure all of this now as well. So let me scrap this all off real quick. Right. Just scrap it off to there. And then track-wise, we'll utilize this as the straight running. And then I'm going to run from here. And from there. So another set of tracks. So just give me a minute. Which these will combine in. Oh no, I've done the wrong side. Hold on. There. There. Now you can't combine them in there, so these got to go up a tad bit more. Oh, the crisscrossing. Right, you can't crisscross here, can you? No. Okay, I've gone a little bit too long. Apologies. Let's try that again. Right, short as you can. Oh, I've done it wrong again. Sediak! Phone! Right, as short as you can get it. What's the collision? Right, we've gone to there. That's now in. Surely a crisscross there works. Right. The reason I'm doing this is because we can have so many trains coming in. Right, I want to have a long strip of train track where we can utilize signals and stuff. So the crisscrossing happens there. Which, actually, do we need a crisscross there? I'm going to say no. Only because we do the crisscrossing here. To keep that running free and smooth. You're joking me, right? So yeah, it's multiple crisscrosses. But we have a little bit more control over it. And then they utilize it there. So the idea behind it is, right, the train's coming in right now. They can do what they've got to do. And then as they come down here, the signal is there, there, and there. Then leading out this way. Signal there, there, and then down here. So you should get a full train's length in there. What's the issue now? They can't come in? Why? The crisscross happens over here. What is your issue? Oh, now I can control it a lot easier. So the goods need to... Right, let's do the goods on 1 and 1. Wait, hold on. No, something's not right now, is it? Something doesn't seem right. So Mount Isa, all the goods, manage the line. On 1. No, 1. Not 1 and 2. Right, even I'm confused now as well. Right, goods line. Manage line in Canberra. One. No, that's 1, isn't it? Wait, can you not get in here? Right, I'm super confused right now of what is now going on. Oh, I'm changing the wrong one. It's Mount Isa I've got to change. Right, that goes there. You are... I don't know what you're now on. I've got to now redo all this. So Mount Isa coming into 1. Don't use any other platform apart from 1 and 2. So by that logic... Canberra goods only comes in here. It then wiggles to Canberra. Over here. Manage the line. Done. Right, that's sorted. It's the Mount Isa stretch that I'm messing up big time. Albury goods. So manage this line. So Albury, both platforms, you're okay. Mount Isa, come to number 1. Utilize 1 and 2. There you go. You're now sorted. Then we'll do the Sydney goods one again. Or next, I should say. So Mount Isa, come into 1, utilize 1 and 2. In Newcastle Exchange, 1 and 2. There you go. You're sorted. Right. Those are all the goods, right? Yes. Now, everything to do with oil. So Rockhampton next. Manage the line. So when it gets to Mount Isa, it goes to number 3. Only do 3 and 4. Done. And then we've got the oil run. Manage the line. Mount Isa, get to 3. Only do 3 and 4. You're done. And then plastic, we will make it pick up on the oil line. So manage the line. Mount Isa, which will be 3. Only go to 3 and 4. You're done. And then what you have left is the steel. Now the steel will make it go into the next set of line. So in Mount Isa, which will be 5. Only go into 5 and 6. And that sorted out all the issues. It's because they're trying to go to all the platforms was the issue. So that sorts that out. Hopefully now it's a bit more clean cut. But the reason is I've done all that is so I can utilize this 4th line here to then bend out and round to go down to the fuel plant, but also be hooked up to the fuel line over there. Oh, I know, boys. I know what you're thinking. Seniac likes to make stuff very, very difficult. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. So spin this right round. Spin it right round, baby, right round. We are gonna hook up. And we'll do 4 tracks. I could keep a bypassing route, but I could just have it as a bypassing route. Right. There's fine, right? Yes. So, configure this. Please don't take a gazillion years to now build. which it does take a very long time. And even worse, I just realized one of the lines is not high speed. Makes no difference, but stresses my OCD out. Stressing my OCD out. Oh, can figure out, I've got the platform. Right, the other station I've got to build, I don't need to build it. I can just place it down. So it'll be an end route. Right, okay. That will do us some justice. We'll just quickly upgrade that because it's going to annoy me if I don't. There we go. And then tracks. Now, it's bending this way, right? Yeah, so bend it like that. Bend that with it. So is this, and so is that. And then crisscross. Right, that's sorted that out. I've now just got to get this. Right, where's the snap? Right, there's the snap. But it kind of has to bend a little bit. So we'll have to build it like that for now. So this somehow needs to connect around to here, which going over as a bridge is not actually a bad idea. We'll do it like that. And there we go. Do it on the bridge. Or not. We'll do it there. Right, this will make sense with how this is going to run. So, we're going to have two lines on it. One line's going to do the crude oil and fuel. Again, that will make sense shortly. And one line is just pure... No, one line's going to do refined oil and fuel. The other line's going to do the crude oil. And it's only really going to pick up from one place. So I don't know. I also don't know how this is going to work out. So if I do double tracks in case we get two sets of trains on it. Have I done... Oh, I've done it again, haven't I? Right, tracks. Run this down. Oh, I need it to actually go through here, don't I? Right, if I bring this one out first. Will it not go up? Oh, is that really already inclining? Right, I've got to bring it to there, unfortunately. Alright, there we go. There we go. Right, that sorts that out. Bring this in as a connection. This does feel like it's going to take longer than it needs to be, but it doesn't need to be this difficult. Right, that line is now all done. So I can now break this down with how it's going to ultimately work. Okay. So do I smooth all this? You know, I'm not going to smooth it just yet. So we're going to have a line that obviously picks up the oil from here and drops it off to here, which not only will give this more oil for the plastic run and all that, you know, to take the oil then down to there to bring it back, because obviously, you know, does what it's got to do and all that kind of sweet jazz. Brings it all in, turns it into refined oil, which can either be distributed over to the plastics, or in this case, we're going to then bring some back to here. Okay? So there's a few ways in which we can kind of set this up, weirdly. There is a few ways in which we can kind of do this. So if I just keep it simple right now, it's all Mount ISA. So Mount ISA. which is going to be crude oil 2, because we already have a 1 on there, which will make this black. Simple, simple. Both platforms there, both platforms there. But then we have another line that would then pick up the refined oil, take it over here to drop off a fuel. But at the same time, it can also pick up the fuel, bring it back to here, which is important, which it won't do straight away. But the reason it's going to then bring it back and drop it off here is because we're going to take a couple of the train lines from there and make them pick up the fuel from over there from this. Which also means that that train going back and forth will consistently keep making money. But I don't know how much demand we're going to have. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how this is going to work. So I'll make it orange so it stands out. We call this our mount ISA fuel. And obviously utilize both platforms. So it'll only pick up the fuel once we get and change the trains from over here, which then distributes more. There'll be more fuel for the other cities. Hopefully it works out. And I'll probably put the longest distance ones onto this one because it's less. It's that less. That's what it's going to be. But every little helps, I suppose. Every little helps. Now, I'm going to have to do a new building for the train depot. Suppose spin this right round. Connect the trains to it. Now, obviously, I have no signals just yet. So let me just quickly sort out some signals. So let me just do this station first. So if I do that like that, then the game will ultimately know that they have to run on both sides of the tracks. Okay, so let's do the oil run first. I'm going to go electric because it have a bit more oomph. I'll add a 200 or let's do a 200. No, let's do a 300 capacity. And to see how we get on with that. So this is Mount ISA crude oil is what it actually is. Now we go diesel on this because it's such a short distance. Oh, hang on, I'm doing too many trains here. Is that train coming out? Yeah. Scrap that. Diesel on this one. And I'm going to do a 100 capacity, and I'll tell you why. I can change it. I can eventually change it. So Mount ISA fuel. Now, that's going to pick up you would like to think it's going to pick up 300 fuel. Crude oil. Sorry. Bring it down to here, which is 2 to 1. So that 300 gets turned into 150 oil. Which some of it's going to be distributed for the plastic line. Some of it going to be distributed for the fuel line. Now, obviously, you can only pick up 100, drop off 100. This turns 100 into 100 fuel. So that works out really well. And this is already kind of getting the oil anyway. We're just going to get even more coming in. Which I'm probably able to find another oil well over here to bring this down into it as well to kind of give this even more. So that all works out well. But the only issue is this is not producing any fuel. So I'm going to have to take some of these off. Now, we've got a lot of cities. We've actually got 6 cities on there. So looking down here, we'll take Adelaide. We'll take Portland. And I'll take Albury. We'll leave Melbourne on that one because it's already established because the one that goes to Melbourne also takes the fuel over to Hobart. So Adelaide, Portland, Albury is what we'll switch over to this. But do I wait until we are producing enough fuel? No, we'll eventually get to start producing fuel in general anyway, won't we? So Adelaide... No, is it Adelaide? Sorry. Yeah, Adelaide is one of them we're taking. So manage this line. So rather than going to what's known as Mackay, we bring it into instead here. Which it has to go into number 5 and 6. There we go. So that's one done. Albury's the other one. Manage the line. Not McKay. Mount Isa, which will be 5 and 6. And the other one was Portland. So not as busy cities. A little bit further out the way. And hopefully distributes it quite nice. So this will be a long process before we see the benefits come into it. It'll be a long process right now of us trying to get this to all work. So that's delivering a lot of fuel. Does this make money all the time? It does. Will this drop off and get it to produce any fuel in time? Or will this pick up any crude oil? Not yet. Or will it now? No. Again, it's going to take time. But that will add an additional consumer for it as well. Or supplier, consumer, one or the other. One or the other. Right, that's bringing fuel over right now. Oh, we need more signals. That's why this is waiting. Alright, one set there. Do another set here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Don't need to do the rest because there's only one train on the rest in reality. So Mount Isa fuel is now starting to get the oil on the platform. This has just got a load delivered. That's got no way for that to kind of skedaddle out of here. Then off it goes. So this will take a while before you start seeing it all come into fruition. And for that to start producing fuel, it will take some time. Does mean that this is going to be a little bit busier. Is this delivering more? Oh, this is for the plastic run, right? The Rockhampton oil. So that will pick up some. Which might start making even more money now we're getting more fuel delivered. It's just got a longer distance to travel. I mean, you could argue that's just as long as well, but hey-ho. So there's definitely fuel on the platform. Sharing the love. And that should get... We'll have to get a third one on, but we'll have to do that next episode. So we are getting somewhere. So those fuel lines, we'll have to wait and see what's going on with them. Because we've now started to take them to other places. There's less lines now losing money, which is good. So that is a huge, huge benefit. Line making the most money is the high-speed one. That's doing really well. It's the Catherine to Perth one as well. And hopefully time will tick along. So doing has had a boost, as you can see, with all the new stuff implemented. Did Port Lincoln have a little bit of a boost? It has, since we added in the back side of it, and then obviously additional connections over here as well. Things are going really well. So in terms of cash, are we starting to see more income coming in on the charts? Yes, we've just had, our previous year was the best year to date, 1.17 billion in income. So what we're doing is pushing this in the right direction. We just have to wait for the rest of it to fall into place. Next episode, we'll go back to our usual expansions, but until next time, I'll see you all soon, so goodbye.